Brother got my fiance pregnant before our wedding. Now my family wants me to forgive them, but I told them to wreck us off and moved away. So, my brother Jordan called me 3 months before my wedding, asking if he could crash at my Airbnb for the weekend. I own this little 2-bedroom place about 20 minutes from where I live. I usually rent it out, but it was empty that week, so I said, "Yeah, sure, whatever." He told me it was just him and some guys doing a poker night. I didn't think twice about it. 2 weeks after that, my fiancée Ashley started acting weird, like really weird. She'd get all jumpy when her phone buzzed. She suddenly wanted to push back our honeymoon because of some made-up work thing that didn't even make sense. I kept asking if she was okay, and she'd just say she was stressed about the wedding. I believed her because I'm an idiot. About a month later, I drove to the Airbnb to fix a busted toilet. While I was there, I decided to check the security camera footage because someone left the back door unlocked and I wanted to make sure nobody broke in. I scrolled through the night. Jordan stayed over and that's when I saw it. Ashley, my Ashley, sitting on my couch next to Jordan making out with him. I literally felt like I was going to throw up. I sat there on the floor of that bathroom, staring at my phone for like 20 minutes. Then I went through the rest of the footage. There was more, way more. Her walking out of the bedroom in just his shirt. Them sitting at the kitchen table laughing while playing cards. At one point, Jordan literally made fun of how I proposed to her. Called it corny. She laughed. I drove straight to our apartment. Didn't even call first. Ashley was home folding laundry. And when she saw my face, she knew. She tried to deny it, but I pulled out my phone and showed her the video. She just started crying. Told me it only happened once. Said she didn't know how to tell me. Then she hit me with the real bomb. She was pregnant 6 weeks and it wasn't mine. We hadn't slept together in almost 2 months because she said she wanted to wait until after the wedding to make it special, or some garbage like that. The math didn't even need to be done. The baby was Jordan's. I left the apartment right then, went straight to my parents' house because I needed them to know what their golden child did. I walked in and my mom was cooking dinner. I told them everything, showed them the footage. And you know what my mom said? At least the baby stays in the family. I just stared at her. My dad didn't even look mad. He said I should think about being the bigger person here. That Jordan made a mistake, but he's still my brother. My older sister showed up while I was there, and she literally suggested I still marry Ashley so the baby would have a stable home. Said Ashley wasn't the type who could handle being a single mom. I lost it. Told all of them to go to hell. My mom started crying, saying I was being cruel and that family forgives family. I looked at Jordan, who'd been sitting there the whole time, not saying a single word, and I told him I hoped he choked. I went back to the apartment, packed one duffel bag with clothes and my laptop, and left. I slept in my car that night in a Walmart parking lot 2 towns over. The next morning, I put in my 2 weeks' notice at work through email. Told my landlord I was breaking the lease and I'd eat the penalty fee. Then I drove. Just kept driving. Ended up in a city 4 states away. Found a cheap studio apartment and paid 3 months up front in cash. Got a new job at a marketing firm that didn't ask too many questions. Changed my number. Blocked everyone on social media. My parents, Jordan, Ashley, my sister, all of them. About 2 months after I left, my dad found my email somehow and sent me this long message about how I needed to come home and be a man. How I was abandoning my family over one mistake. How Ashley's baby was due in a few months and I should at least meet my niece or nephew. I wrote back one sentence. Go yourself, especially Jordan. Then I blocked that email too. Story 2. My girlfriend told me to stop bothering her unless she reached out first. So I did. Now she's showing up at my workplace calling me manipulative. I need some perspective here because I honestly don't know if what I'm doing is healthy or if I've just completely lost the plot. My girlfriend Celia and I have been together for about 9 months. The first 4 months were incredible. She was attentive, always texting me good morning, sending me random things that remind her of me, FaceTiming me at night just to talk about nothing. I felt seen, like I mattered to someone who actually wanted to be around me. Then something shifted around month 5. It started small. She'd take longer to respond to texts. When I'd suggest hanging out, she'd say she was busy, but wouldn't offer alternative plans. I figured she was stressed with work or needed space, so I backed off a bit. But then it got weirder. She'd post Instagram stories of her out with friends at the exact time she told me she was too tired to see me. When I gently brought it up, she said I was keeping tabs on her and being controlling. That threw me, because I genuinely wasn't trying to control anything. I just wanted to understand what was happening between us. About 6 weeks ago, things came to a head. I'd asked if she wanted to grab dinner on Friday, and she didn't respond for 2 days straight. When she finally replied, it was this: "Adrian, I need you to understand something because this is getting really exhausting for me. You're suffocating me with your constant need for attention and validation. I can't breathe in this relationship when you're always asking to see me or texting me expecting immediate responses. It's too much. From now on, I'm going to decide when we spend time together. I'll reach out when I want to talk. You need to stop bothering me unless I initiate contact first. This is what I need to be happy in this relationship. And if you can't respect that, then maybe we need to reconsider things." I read that message probably 10 times, trying to figure out if I was missing some context. Was I really that overbearing? I looked back through our texts. In the previous week, I'd sent maybe 5 messages total. All pretty casual stuff. Nothing that screamed desperate or demanding to me, but maybe I was blind to my own behavior. I talked to my buddy Jonah about it. He and his girlfriend Rebecca have been together for like 6 years, so I figured he'd give it to me straight if I was being a stage 5 clinger. He read the messages and just shook his head. "Dude, she's playing games. This is some control thing." Rebecca agreed. She said Celia was essentially putting me in a position where I had to wait for permission to exist in my own relationship. "It's not about you being needy," Rebecca told me. "It's about her wanting to call all the shots and making you feel grateful for whatever scraps of attention she throws your way." That hit different. So here's where I might be the aura genius or both. I decided to take Celia's rules and follow them to the absolute letter. She wanted me to stop initiating. Done. She wanted control over when we talked. She's got it. I turned off all my read receipts, disabled the last seen feature on WhatsApp, muted her notifications. Not blocked, just muted, and then I just stopped. No good morning text. No how was your day messages. No reaching out at all. I didn't even do this to manipulate her or play some reverse psychology game. I genuinely needed to step back and figure out if I even wanted to be in a relationship where I felt like I was constantly walking on eggshells, waiting for permission to care about someone. The first few days were rough. I kept picking up my phone out of habit, almost sending her something, then remembering. But instead of sitting around feeling sorry for myself, I started doing other stuff. I hit up Jonah and Rebecca more, started going to the gym consistently again, signed up for a woodworking class I'd been eyeing. It's been almost 2 weeks now. Radio silence on my end, and her reaction has been unexpected. There's nothing. Complete silence from her too, which honestly validated my suspicion that she wasn't that into me anymore. I think I'm starting to make peace with the idea that we were just done, and I should write Reddit. Edit, wow. Did not expect this to get so much attention. To clarify, since people are asking, no, I'm not ghosting her. I'm just not initiating contact exactly like she demanded. If she reaches out, I'm not ignoring her existence. I'm just taking my time, I guess. Update 1, 3 weeks later. So, that blew up more than I expected. Thanks for all the perspectives, even the ones calling me petty or passive-aggressive. Couple of people asked for an update. So, here's where things are at now. Coincidentally, the very next day after I posted, my phone started blowing up. Messages from none other than Celia. At first, it was just a casual, "Hey, what's up?" I didn't respond for about 6 hours. I was at Jonah and Rebecca's place helping them move some furniture, and honestly, I'd gotten pretty good at not checking my phone every 5 minutes. When I finally looked, there were 3 more messages asking why I didn't respond, and if I was okay. I responded with something brief. "Yeah, I'm good. Just been busy." Her reply came back in under a minute. Busy with what? I didn't answer that one simply because I didn't feel like giving her a play-by-play. The old me would have immediately launched into detail about my day the moment she asked. New me. I'm realizing I don't owe anyone a real-time update on my whereabouts unless I want to share. That's when things started escalating. Over the next few days, her messages became more frequent. "Why are you being weird?" "Did I do something wrong?" "This is really immature, Adrian." That last one almost made me laugh. The same person who told me I was suffocating her by asking to hang out once a week was now calling me immature for doing exactly what she demanded. But what really struck me was this. I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't even hurt. I was just indifferent. And that scared me a little because it made me realize how checked out I'd already become without fully admitting it to myself. Jonah and Rebecca had me over for dinner last week. Rebecca asked how I was handling everything, and I told her honestly, I felt lighter, like I've been carrying this weight of constantly wondering if I was doing something wrong, if I was too much, if I wasn't enough. And now that weight was gone. That's not what love is supposed to feel like, Rebecca said. And she was right. Around the 2-week mark, Celia started calling, not texting, actual phone calls. I'd see her name pop up and feel this weird mix of curiosity and exhaustion. I answered one of them, mainly because I figured we needed to actually talk at some point. Where have you been? She demanded no hello or anything. Around, I said. Work's been busy. Been doing some stuff with friends. You're really just going to act like everything's fine. Like you haven't been completely ignoring me. You told me not to bother you unless you reached out first. I reminded her calmly. That's what I've been doing. There was this long pause. Then she went full on defensive. I didn't mean you should disappear completely. You're taking this too literally. You know, I didn't mean it like that. But she did mean it like that. We both knew that. She meant every word when she sent that message. She just didn't expect me to actually respect her boundaries. Or maybe she didn't expect that respecting those boundaries would mean I'd start building a life that didn't revolve around waiting for her approval. I don't know what you want me to say. Celia, you set the terms. I'm following them. She tried a different angle, but I miss you. Don't you miss me? Honest answer. Not really. I missed the version of her from the first few months, but that person seemed gone. What I didn't miss was the constant anxiety, the second guessing, the feeling like I was always one text away from being too much. I told her I needed more time to think about things. She didn't like that answer, so she decided to just ignore it. The calls started coming at weirder times. Late night, sometimes past midnight. I didn't answer those. Just put my phone on Do Not Disturb mode. Then she started leaving voicemails. Some apologetic, some accusatory, some just rambling about how she didn't understand what was happening. Yesterday, Jonah texted me, Dude, Celia just messaged Rebecca asking if you were okay. Said she's worried you might have been in an accident or something, because you're not acting like yourself. Rebecca apparently told her I was fine, and that maybe Celia should give me space if she actually cared about my well-being. I appreciated that, but it also made me realize how far this had spiraled. I'm not playing games here. I genuinely stepped back to figure out what I want. And what I'm discovering is that I want a relationship where I don't feel like I'm constantly auditioning for the role of boyfriend, where I don't need permission to care about someone, where I miss you isn't a negotiating tactic, but an actual feeling shared between two people who enjoy being around each other. The irony isn't lost on me that the moment I stopped chasing, she started running after me. But I don't want someone who only wants me when they think they might lose me. That's not love. That's ownership. Some of you in the comments last time said I should just end it cleanly. You're probably right. I think I've been avoiding that conversation because some part of me keeps hoping she'll suddenly get it. That we'll have this breakthrough moment where she realizes what she's been doing, and we can start over. But that's not realistic, is it? People don't just fundamentally change because you stop responding to their texts. I think I'm prolonging this unnecessarily. I really need to have an actual conversation and end this properly, rather than just existing in this limbo. Edit. For everyone asking, no, we weren't living together. We both have our own places, which honestly has made this whole thing easier. Update 2. The office incident. I really wish I didn't have to make this update, but things have officially gone off the rails. First off, I want to address something from the last post's comments. A lot of you said I needed to just rip the Band-Aid off and officially end things instead of letting it drag out. You were absolutely right, and I was planning to do exactly that this weekend. Had the whole conversation mapped out in my head. Was going to suggest we meet somewhere public and neutral, the whole deal. Celia beat me to it, sort of. So yesterday, Thursday, I was at work in the middle of a meeting with my team about a project deadline. My phone was on silent in my bag. Meeting went long, run about 2 hours. When I finally checked my phone around 2:30, I had 11 missed calls from Celia and a string of increasingly frantic texts. The messages started normal enough. Hey, can we talk? Then about 15 minutes later, Adrian, please. I need to talk to you. Then they got progressively more urgent. This is serious. Why aren't you answering? I'm really scared right now. Fine. If you won't respond, I guess I'll have to come find you. That last one was sent at 2:15. I was reading those messages, thinking surely she didn't mean what I thought she meant, right? And then Kelly from reception was suddenly at my desk. "Adrian, there's someone here to see you." She says it's urgent. My stomach dropped. I walked out to the reception area, and there was Celia dressed up like she got somewhere important to be looking anxious, but also determined. Our office has an open layout, so the reception desk is basically just at the front of our workspace. Kelly looked thoroughly confused, and I could see a couple of my coworkers at nearby desks pretending not to stare. "Celia, what are you doing here?" I asked, trying to keep my voice even. "You wouldn't answer your phone," she said. Like that explained showing up at my workplace unannounced. "We need to talk." "I was in a meeting. You can't just show up at my job." "Well, you left me no choice," she snapped. "You've been avoiding me for weeks, ignoring my calls, acting like I don't exist." What was I supposed to do? I was acutely aware that we were having this conversation in my office lobby. That everyone was absolutely going to talk about this. That my boss might walk through at any moment. I felt this flash of anger. Not the hot explosive kind, but this cold, clear realization that this was exactly the kind of boundary violation I should have seen coming. "Let's go outside," I said quietly. To my surprise, she actually listened this time, or else I might have to drag her out myself. We walked to the parking lot, and the second we were out of earshot of the building, she started in. "You're punishing me." "That's what this is." "You're trying to manipulate me by doing this whole silent treatment thing, making me chase after you, making me look crazy." "I'm not doing any of that," I interrupted. "You told me to stop initiating contact." "I did exactly what you asked, but not like this." I could see her getting frustrated in real time, not disappearing completely. "You know that's not what I meant." "Then what did you mean, Celia? Because from where I'm standing, I followed your instructions to the letter." "You wanted control over when we talked, when we saw each other. I gave you that control, and now you're mad because I'm not playing the game the way you wanted." That shut her up for a second, and I could see her trying to figure out what angle to take. Then her eyes got watery fast. "I just miss you." "Is that so wrong? I miss my boyfriend, and I wanted to see you, and you're making me feel like I'm being unreasonable for that." And that was where something in me just cracked. I couldn't do this. I couldn't stand here and watch her try to use tears to manipulate me. This relationship needed to end. "I don't want to do this anymore," I said. The words came out calmer than I felt. "This whatever this is, it's not working for me." She stared at me like I just slapped her across the face. "So, you're breaking up with me in a parking lot after ignoring me for weeks." "Yes, I'm ending a relationship that stopped being a relationship a long time ago. You wanted me on your terms. Available when convenient, gone when not. That's not a partnership, Celia. I don't even know what that is, but it's not what I want." She switched tactics again, got angry. "This is exactly what I'm talking about." "You're being controlling." "You can't handle that." "I needed some space, so you're turning it around on me, making me the bad guy." "I'm not making you anything," I said, and I was surprised by how tired I sounded. "I'm just done. I'm done feeling like I have to apologize for existing in your life. Done waiting for permission to care about someone who supposedly cares about me. Done with whatever mind game this has become. You can't just end this without even trying." "I did try." "I tried for months, and then I gave you exactly what you said you wanted, and that wasn't right either. So, what am I supposed to do? What version of me would be acceptable to you?" She didn't have an answer for that. I told her I needed to get back to work. She stood there looking stunned, like she genuinely couldn't process that this was happening. As I walked away, she called after me. "You're going to regret this. You're going to realize what you gave up." I didn't respond. I didn't even look back. Maybe she's right. Maybe in a few weeks or months, I'll look back and think I made a mistake. But right now, I feel like I can breathe properly for the first time in months. When I got back inside, Kelly very diplomatically didn't say anything, but I could feel the curious looks. I sent a quick message to my manager, giving her a heads up that there had been a personal matter that had been resolved, just in case it became office gossip. Jonah called me that evening. Apparently, Celia had messaged Rebecca again, some long rant about how I'd humiliated her and was clearly seeing someone else, and that's why I'd been distant. That she needed Rebecca and Jonah to help her find out who. Rebecca shut that down pretty quickly. Told her to leave both of them out of it. "How are you doing, man? Jonah asked. I thought about it. Honestly, relieved. Also kind of pissed that she showed up at my work, but mostly relieved. That took guts doing it face to face like that. Didn't really have a choice. She forced the conversation. Yeah, but you didn't cave. A lot of people would have. I hadn't thought about it like that. I guess I could have let her talk me into circles. Let her convince me that I was the one being unreasonable. Let the guilt pull me back in. Old me probably would have. New me. I'm learning that walking away from something that hurts isn't giving up. Sometimes it's the only way to win. Edit. Thanks for all the support. And yeah, I'm definitely going to give HR a heads up tomorrow morning just to document it in case she tries anything else. Several of you suggested that in the comments, and you're right, that I should protect myself. And no, I'm not worried about her showing up at my apartment. Building has security, and she's never had a key, but I appreciate the concern. Final update. 3 months later, time for what I hope is the last update on this whole situation. First things first, Celia and I have had zero contact since the parking lot conversation. She tried a couple times in the week after a few texts that I didn't respond to, one email that I deleted without reading, then nothing for about 2 weeks. Then the social media campaign started. She didn't name me directly, but anyone who knew us could tell. Vague posts about narcissists who use silence as a weapon and emotional abuse disguised as boundaries. A couple of Instagram stories with her crying, talking about healing from toxic relationships. Rebecca sent me screenshots because she was concerned Celia might escalate. The really wild part is what happened with some of our friend group. Turns out, Celia had been telling them a completely different version of our relationship for months. She'd been portraying me as this needy, jealous boyfriend who couldn't handle her having her own life. When Rebecca confronted her about the contradictions, Celia doubled down and said I'd manipulated them into taking my side. Rebecca told me the conversation got intense. Celia apparently said she couldn't believe they choose a man over female solidarity, and that by staying friends with me, they were enabling abuse. When Rebecca pointed out that Celia had literally told me not to contact her, and then got angry when I didn't, Celia's response was, he should have known I didn't mean it like that. They don't talk to her anymore. I didn't ask them to do that. They made that choice themselves after she tried to make them choose with that ultimatum. About 6 weeks after the breakup, I heard through another mutual friend that Celia had started dating someone new, some guy she met at a bar. My friend seemed uncomfortable telling me like he thought I'd be upset. I wasn't. I was mostly concerned for the guy. 2 weeks ago, I heard that they'd already broken up. Apparently, it followed a similar pattern. She was super intense at first, then suddenly cold, then accused him of being controlling when he asked why she'd changed. The guy apparently ended it after 3 weeks. And again, Celia told everyone the guy was emotionally unstable, and she dodged a bullet. That's when it really hit me that this wasn't about me at all. This is who she is. This is what she does. And I'm just grateful I got out when I did, instead of wasting more years trying to figure out what I was doing wrong. But enough about her. Here's what's actually important. I'm doing really well, like genuinely well. Not in that fake, I'm so much better off way people say after breakups when they're clearly still hurt. I mean, I wake up in the morning and don't immediately check my phone with anxiety. I make plans without worrying if I'm being too clingy by wanting to exist. I'm just living. Been spending more time with Jonah and Rebecca. We do game nights most Fridays now. Just the 3 of us, or sometimes with a few other people. It's nice having friends who don't make everything a drama. Who check in because they care, not because they want gossip or to pick sides. I even started dating again very casually. Nothing serious yet, and I'm not rushing it. But I went on a few dates with someone I met through the woodworking class. And the difference in how it felt versus my relationship with Celia was stark. We texted each other because we wanted to, not because one person demanded it, or the other felt obligated. We made plans and both showed up enthusiastically. Basic stuff that should be normal, but felt revolutionary after 9 months of walking on eggshells. That didn't turn into anything long-term, but it reminded me what I should be looking for. Someone who doesn't see my interest in them as a burden. Someone who wants to be around me as much as I want to be around them. Some of you warned me in the comments that she'd try to come back eventually, that people like her always do. You were right. She sent me a message about a month ago. It was a long rambling thing about how she'd been doing a lot of therapy and realized she had attachment issues. That she realized she'd made mistakes and wanted to talk about what went wrong and hoped I'd give her another chance. The whole thing felt performative, like she was saying what she thought she should say, rather than actually meaning it. And honestly, based on what I heard about her new ex-boyfriend, I don't think she learned anything at all. I didn't respond, not to be cruel, but because there's nothing left to say. That chapter is closed. My life is smaller now in some ways. Lost some friends who were really Celia's friends. Don't go to certain places we used to go together, but it's also bigger in the ways that matter. I have more time, more energy, more peace. I laugh more. I sleep better. I'm building things with my hands and playing guitar again, and just existing without needing someone's permission. Thanks to everyone who commented on my original posts. I'm doing good. I'm gonna keep doing good.